Hello and welcome to Save My Catholic Marriage Live, a Catholic podcast for struggling marriages by Catholic Alpha, while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court. And with Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, divorce combat coaching is the flavor of today, while also giving you winning tactics while also helping you understand marriage and courting, not dating in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 234th episode, 8 reasons why your wife has stopped communicating with you. So, get your Catholic marriage questions answered now by posting in the chat. I must tell you, this show will not be for some of you because you want a quick fix and a quick tips. In-depth subject matter is what actually works, and that takes time. I ask you to be patient and really learn how to save a struggling marriage, which means listen, embrace what I'm saying, and get down to what's happening. If you're watching live or listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, please share the show to help other marriages. Don't wait. Get in that queue for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And so we have the quote of the day. Quote, if God gives you an abundant harvest of trials, it is a sign of great holiness, which he desires you to attain. Do you want to become a great saint? Ask God to send you many sufferings. The flame of divine love never rises higher than when fed with the wood of the cross, which the infinite charity of the Savior used to finish his sacrifice. All the pleasures of the world are nothing compared with the sweetness found in the gall and vinegar offered to Jesus Christ. That is hard and painful things endured by Jesus Christ and with Jesus Christ. End quote, St. Ignatius of Loyola. Bam. Get live Catholic Marriage Help Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. All right. We are here for the question of the day. So look, I had a client one time, knew a guy, and he would ask his wife, he would really get on her. He would talk mean to her. He would call her names, insult her, and things like that. And she would take it. And the reason she took it was because she still loved him. But when when she decided to leave, what happened was she started to give him everything back that in her mind that he gave her. And so what happened was he couldn't take it. He couldn't take her neglecting him. He couldn't take her, being mean to him, not being loving to him. Because when she left, she no longer cared about his feelings. She only cared about hers. And that is what I was wanting you to understand about the subject today. When we raise our voice, our tone of voice, things start to go south. That first name call. Then once you do it once, it's easier to do it again. So we have the question of the day, which is safe to talk and why is it important? So what does safe to talk mean? Safe to talk basically means, what have I done as a husband to make my wife feel she can't be upfront and honest about her true thoughts and feelings? Man, that is so key. If your wife cannot open up to you and tell you what is on her mind and be able to open up and fear and not fearing that she's going to get her head bit off, or she's going to be ignored or not listened to, basically, that's what will happen. She'll stop talking. Matter of fact, I met somebody a little while back, and they have been doing their job. She's a wife. She's been doing her job for over 30 years. And when she first got the job, they first got married, he listened to her all the time about complaining about her job. She didn't want him to solve anything. She just wanted him to listen. And he was one of the kind of guys, she told me, that all he wanted to do was fix things, which basically for a man means I ain't got time to really hear what you're saying. Just give me the meat of it so that I can go and I can tell you how to fix it and it's over. And that's how a lot of people are with my podcast and with my content. The men, they can't sit still and man up and learn something about the most important relationship in their life, God and their wife in marriage, without 30 seconds being gone. You can't fix a problem like a bad marriage or a mediocre marriage or an inadequate marriage by 30 seconds or 2 minutes or 5 minutes. As a man, you have to be willing to sit down, focus, and get things done and embrace the teaching. At your job, you wouldn't do that. If it's not your job saying, hey, man, you got to go sit down and do this training and you're going to have a test afterwards, or you're going to lose your job. What you going to do? You're going to get your little butt in there. You're going to go through the videos or whatever they have. And you're going to pass. And this is the way your marriage is exactly the same way. And that's what Safe to Talk really is your wife has to be willing. She has to feel that she's able to open up her thoughts, give you everything that she has, and give you her honest thoughts without her feeling that you're not going to listen, that you're just going to brush her off or not listen or whatever. And usually with men, that doesn't happen when you dating and you trying to get in her pants. You listen to everything she says. We get married, all of a sudden, after 6 months, a year, we don't want to listen to her. Question number 2 of the day. What does it mean when a wife stops talking or shuts down? It means that she's deeply hurt. It means she no longer trusts her husband. It means she's trying to figure out how to make the pain stop. Her happiness is now becoming paramount. That's another thing when men don't understand, when they don't speak to their wife properly or communicate properly, arguing with her all the time, fighting with her, debating with her, blaming her. It's her fault. It ain't nothing my fault, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, sitting there, most guys going to say, I know I'm not perfect. I'm not saying everything's not my fault. What I am really saying, that's another way of saying, yeah, not everything's my fault, but I'm not perfect. But anytime you say but, you just lost all credibility from your wife and your kids too. Okay. So a wife will shut down when that's how you know when she kind of stops talking and she shuts down, she's hurt. And the hurt means what? Like, you say you love me, you say I'm the most important person in your life, but you treat me like a buddy, like a coworker or something. And if you loved me, why do you neglect me? Why do you not talk to me? Why do you ignore me? Why do you not listen to me? See, men, we think that we go out, we make a living, we bring home the bacon, we go to work 10, 12 hours a day or whatever, and our wife, that should be good enough for her. But see, that ain't what she signed up for. She signed up for your love, and when you stop giving it to her, she really don't care how much money you make. She really don't. Of course, a house is important, a car is important, food's important for her and the kids, but in the end, she really didn't marry you for how much money you have. She married you for your potential. Your potential to what? To love her. Okay? Next, question number 3 of the day. How do husbands get in this point in the first place? So as a man, as a husband, how do you get to the point where your wife is shut down, she won't talk to you, or not, she'll talk to you, but it's sparingly, or she's on her phone all the time, right? I know guys now, their wife get in the bed with them. I know more than one guy. Their wife will get in the bed with them, and they ain't trying to make love or nothing. You know what they doing? They on their phone. They on Facebook, on YouTube, or they on what is that, Instagram or whatever. And what we've got to understand is, man, if our wife is on Instagram and not want to make love to us, something wrong. Something wrong. And as a man sitting there blaming her because she's just trying to get the pain to stop. She's just trying to figure out, like, why are we in this? What is this? Where is this marriage going? She's asking herself the questions your butt should be asking yourself. Okay? So, men, we begin to believe that we can address and treat our wife any old kind of way. That's how we get up in this position. We started taking her for granted. We started to think, well, we can treat, I can put her off. She don't need my attention today. I'll give it to her tomorrow. But treating your wife any old kind of way is where the intimacy starts to end, where the communication starts to end, because she starts to believe that you don't care and really love her anymore. Okay. Another thing too, husbands, we get too damn comfortable. We just get too darn comfortable with our wife. We start farting in front of her, start burping in front of her. We use the bathroom and don't spray. We don't spray air freshener in the bathroom. We in the bed when we got to use the bathroom. What do? We fart in the bed, and our wife is sitting right there asleep. Come on, man. It's the truth. I'm telling the truth. If you was dating your wife, there's no way you'd do that stuff. Of course not. Of course not. But what do? We start doing the things that we would never do, and then we get the results we get, and it's not our fault, it's her fault, right? We forget how fragile our wives are when it comes to us and their love for us. Okay? Neglect of her as our wife and what she needs to feel important to us. Your wife married you for your love. She wanted to come together. And when y'all first got married, 90% of women want to have all your babies. So if you're married to a woman and she ain't trying to have your babies, she's got all these excuses about, well, I don't feel good. We gotta wait till we make more money. I'm on contraception. I'm taking birth control. And I'm just not ready right now. All the excuses they give, man, I don't care. If you married to your wife and your wife don't want to have your babies, you need to go in the bathroom, close the medicine cabinet, and look in the mirror. Why doesn't a woman who just 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago loved me more than anything on the planet, but now she won't have my baby? You got to think about that, gentlemen. You got to think about that. Okay? All right. So when we come back, we will start and get into the top 8 reasons that I'm talking about. The top 8 reasons that I'm talking about why your wife may shut down and and leave you alone and stop communicating with you. And when that happens, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Bam. All right. So we are back. And so what's going on is today we're talking about the top 8 reasons why I've shut down and stopped speaking to us. And that's what's promised. I had another guy, he's a good man. He was cool and everything, made a lot of money, made a lot of money. He was very successful in his business and stuff, you know. So what did he do though? He thought I just give my wife money and she'll go and shopping and take care of the kids. And I'll go work 16 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. And then when I come home, I just, cordially just say hello. If we talk, we talk. We don't, we don't. We don't do much. They really didn't do much together. And he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand why his wife stopped communicating with him, or she started treating him mean, or she started not wanting to be near him and things like that. So come to find out, man, what started happening was she just didn't feel close to him anymore. She didn't feel close to him. And of course, what do men do? We get mad. We get mad. We get angry. Um, And usually the first thing to go when women really get fed up and start to lose hope is they stop wanting to make love to you. They stop wanting to kiss you, and kissing, sometimes they'll have sex with you, but they won't kiss you in the mouth. If your wife won't kiss you in the mouth, I don't mean a little peck neither. I mean a 5 to 20, 30-second kiss. If your wife won't kiss you in the mouth and deeply getting to kissing you, you got serious marriage problems, man. You got serious marriage problems. You really do. And then after that, eventually she'll stop having sex with you. I've had clients, man. They ain't had sex in 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, a year, 6 months, 15 years. And I can help them through it, and we get it solved most of the time, but it's a lot of work. And men don't want to do that. They want to go out and they think that their wife is a car. I just take I take my car to the mechanic because the water pump went out. They put a new water pump in there. Hey, my car's good as new. My car's good as new. That ain't how women are. I had to tell a man the other day, man, you're a very smart brother, man. Very smart. Probably the smartest man in the room all the time. But you know about your job, but you don't know about relationships. You don't know about marriage. And it's the same thing, fellas. Marriage is something to be conquered, just like your job is something to be conquered. You know, just like if you're a professional athlete, the other team is there to be conquered. And you've got to understand that it takes knowledge, takes prayer, and it takes the willingness to lose our pride, man, and start to realize that we're gonna lose our family, man. We're gonna lose our family. And we're going to lose our wife. We're going to lose our children. And I don't care what anybody says. If I lose my wife and I lose my family, I'm a loser. I'm a loser. And that's what it's about. I have men come to me, they crying, they don't know what to do, they're stressed out, anxiety. Because, man, after a while, you start to realize I'm going to lose my wife and my kids, man. How can I fix this? And most of the time, if they just would have started to realize before we get to the point of I want a divorce or we're arguing all the time, a lot of times it can be fixed a lot easier. But what do men do? We wait and we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait. We research and we research and we research and we research. Before you know it, it's 2 years, a year, 5 years. All of a sudden, now it's so bad, it's going to take a miracle by Jesus Christ to fix it. And the first thing all of them say is this: man, she says she don't love me, man, so I guess it's over. Man, she don't want to be with me. She says she's not in love with me anymore, man. I guess it's over. You know why she's saying that stuff? Because she's trying to get us to man the hell up. Man up and show her you love me. I'm the most important person in your life. You're going to give me the world. Give me the world like you said you was. And stop putting me on the back burner of the stove all the time. Stop putting me in the back room and leaving me on and only bring me out when you got a nudge and you're growing. See, man, I talk to a lot of men. You can't come and talk to me and think you're going to lie to me. Because I know what's up. Because I've been there too. I know what's up. And what I want you guys to really understand is try your best to drop the pride and the ego and realize what situation we're in. If you're listening to me, it's time. The time has arrived. I got a podcast of people listening to this live show, but not many. But I have 2,000 downloads a day. I should be getting thousands of requests for help. I don't. Because guys think it's gonna get better. It's gonna all be better. all be better. And it ain't. It don't get better. It only gets better when we as men make it better. Just like evil in our home. Satan's not leaving your home until you kick his butt out. Okay. So, number one, the top 8 reasons why I've shut down and stopped speaking to us. Number one, I ignore what she is saying as hogwash or not important or has no validity. Okay. What she is saying is not important enough in my mind as a husband to take it seriously. So I invalidate it or ignore it as not even worth my time thinking about it. If I can't fix it now, I don't care really. She'll get over it. When you want me to fix something, you let me know, then I'll give you my time. Other than that, I got things to do, woman. Most men gonna say I don't think like that. Yes, we do. We don't consciously think about it, but it's about the actions. Okay. Or I flat out ignore my wife, not looking at her or acknowledging her, or just ignoring her by changing the subject. So, how many times, think about it, how many times you doing something, you watching a football game or doing something for your job or whatever, your wife walks in the room, as a man, you don't even look up at her. You talking to her like whatever you doing, you talking to her. Your kids walk in the room, you doing something. Basically, it's like you telling your wife and kids, hey, what you bothering me for? I got other important things to do. Okay. Number two, I yell at her or raise my voice. I cannot tell you every man that comes to me. I have the men with the greatest voices too. They if they would just talk to their wife with that voice they talking that I hear, oh man, they have her forever. But what do? They yell at her, they raise their voice. Remember, our tone of voice to our wives is deep, man. It's very, it can hurt them very deeply. Just being just being as a husband, just being disappointed in your wife and she knows it can hurt her. Just like I said about the ignoring, the same thing. It hurts her deeply. And you go, well, man, she needs to grow up. She needs to learn how to take it. No, she's your beloved. She can't learn how to take it. If she learns how to take it, you know how women learn how to take stuff? They shut you down. They ignore you. They avoid you. You know why? To protect their psyche, to protect their emotional stability. Why? Because they are bonded to you, heavily and seriously bonded to you. Through what? Through marriage in the church, through God, through intimacy, through those children. That's why you hurt them so deep. That's how you hurt them so deep. And when most guys, if they any kind of man, when they realize that, man, they feel sorry. They feel sorry that they treated their wife like that. And remember, man, when women choose us, we don't choose them. So if you court a woman and you convince her that you love her and she can trust you and she wants to spend her life with you, she gives you her heart, her mind, her body, and her soul. It's yours for eternity, right? That's what she does. So if when she starts to realize that stuff's not going anywhere, then that's when the attitude comes. So when I say, that's what I mean when women choose us, we don't choose them. Because she could ignore us. She could like not take, could not take our wedding ring, right? She could not give us the time of day, right? So when a woman chooses a man to marry, there's no way in hell she wants to have an affair. There's no way she wants to give her body to somebody else. There's no way she wants to give her attention to somebody else. There's no way she wants to give her time to somebody else. Or I don't mean just another man. I mean her parents, her siblings, her friends, and all of that. You know. And so this draws the conclusion of when do they start want to do those things? They start wanting to do those things, those negative things, when we as their husbands start to treat them not the way we used to treat them to get them to marry us. Okay? So please, the next time you raise your voice, the next time your tone of voice gets frustrative, the next time your tone of voice is not loving and caring, just think of the damage you're causing. She don't want to be that way, but she's emotional. Why are women emotional? To connect and bond with the children, to nurture children. That's why it's a perfection. Masculinity is a perfection God created, and femininity is a perfection that God created. Okay? So, number 3, I belittle her. So, as a husband, belittle my wife. I listen to her. Um, um, I'm sorry. I listen to her, but I make her feel insignificant for even thinking or saying something so dumb or stupid. Many times, we don't mean to do this on purpose as a husband, but it can happen easily if we aren't thinking about what we are doing. A lot of times, that's what happens. Like a lot of smart guys. Guys, they smart. They're smart as men in the room all the time. A lot of times, they don't really realize they're being condescending. They don't really realize that they're belittling the person that they're in front of, because to them, they're not really doing it on they're not really doing it on purpose. But this is why I bring up the point of, you cannot treat your wife like a coworker, like an employee, like she's a partner. Because when you start thinking like, oh, that's my partner, or then you start thinking, oh, well, she's my partner. She got her job. I got my job. We equals and all of that stuff. The relationship is equal, 50-50. That's what everybody says today. That is the biggest hogwash ever. That's from hell. Your marriage is not 50-50. It's 90-10. And guess who the 90 is? You. Your wife is 10%. I can't tell you how many guys say, well, man, Jerry, when she gonna do something? When she gonna be responsible for something? When she have to act right? Now, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not telling you that your wife doesn't have flaws, that she got some things wrong with her. I'm not saying that. But God don't hold her responsible for the marriage. He don't. He holds her responsible for the children. You responsible for the marriage and everything else in that house. And that's why I say, man, you got to get over that stuff. Stop thinking like the world and start thinking like Jesus Christ. Think about it. Your wife can't be responsible for all this stuff. We want our wives to go to work. How many guys come to me and go, they got a house full of kids, 1 or 2 kids, don't matter, whatever it is. Man, she won't go get no job. You know why? Man, she won't go help me bring home the money and help me do this and help me do that with the finances and stuff. You know what? She don't have to. In the eyes of God, your wife don't have to do that. You know why? So your wife, I know women, they work 8, 10, 12, or 14 hours a day. They come home. I got guys right now. Their wife will come home 6, 7 o'clock at night. They will get on their computer. They might eat a little bit. They might say hi to them or something, but they gonna start going doing work and stuff, closing out the day. It's 9, 10 o'clock at night. Okay, your wife is doing that. If your wife is doing all of that, man, if your wife's working 8 hours a day, guess what's gonna happen? Number one, the kid's gonna be at daycare. So that's gonna screw your kids up. Seriously. Anybody let their kids go to daycare, they got a problem. It's gonna screw your kids up. Everybody think, oh, they're 1 and 2 years old. Oh, my kids are so cute. My kids are gonna always be little angels. What do they get 12 and 13 and 15 and 17? And they've been in daycare their whole life. You'll see, and that's what these schools are too. High school, middle school, elementary. They're all daycares. Okay. Next thing's gonna happen in your family. You're not gonna have no sex. Your wife is too tired. She's too tired to have sex with you, man. She's been working 10 hours and she's just working 8. Guess what? She got to get up and get ready to go and get to work. That's an hour. And then it takes her an hour to get home. That's 10 hours. Then if your wife is a really good wife, what's she gonna do? She's gonna stop at the store. She's gonna get some dinner for the night. She's gonna come home. She's gonna start cooking. And then that's another hour. Then y'all gotta you got little kids, you gotta put the kids in the bed. That's another hour, half hour, whatever. That's 12 hours, man. 11, 12 hours, man. And you think your wife gonna want to make love to you and be and to be good and to be intimate and loving and caring? No, no, man. So we got to understand what the devil is in our homes, the devil is in this society. Christ is like on the back burner, just like we put our wives back there, and we only bring God and our wife out when we need something. Just be real about it. Just be real about it. It's the truth. It's the truth. You know how I know what I'm saying is the truth? How many of y'all pray a rosary for your wife every day? How many of y'all go to adoration for your wife every day? How many of y'all go to Bible study for your wife and marriage every day? How many get on your knees and pray an Our Father or Hail Marys for your wife? How many of y'all ask God to change the heart of your wife so that she will be the woman and the wife that you need? That's how I know I'm telling the truth. I see it all the time. And I'm being tough on you right now. You know why? Because you ain't got no more time. You're going to die here in a little while. It might be 20, 30 years, but that time going to go just like that. Hell, yesterday I was just 20. Now I'm 58. Just yesterday I was 30 years old, seemed like. Just yesterday. It comes fast, brother. It comes fast. And as a man, I realized in my middle 40s, and that was late. I realized in my early to mid 40s that I ain't got no more time. I ain't got time to go watch football and watch basketball and watch hockey and go to the golf course and stuff and go fishing and go boating and go to the park and do all this stuff that I want to do. Go to Las Vegas all the time and all this stuff, traveling and stuff all the time. I realized, man, I ain't got time for that, man. I got to get on my knees, man, to get my family right. That's what I got to do. I'm not saying I do that 24/7. What I'm saying is, though, everything has its place. And the first thing as a man, that's what a real man is, man. That's what Jesus Christ did. Did Jesus Christ go to the golf course? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they had golf back then. I don't know. But my point, I'm just joking, man. But my point of it is, man, it puts things in perspective. It really does. Okay. So, number 4, the last one before the break. Number 4, I lecture her. Not even kids like being lectured to, but they are kids and basically know nothing, so they must listen to us, right? But lecturing to an adult or our wives, especially when they didn't sign up for it, is kind of demeaning, isn't it? We must get used to talking to them instead of at them. And I'm sure many wives do the same thing to their husbands. Someone has to be the adult and lead in this situation. You know, when I coach men, I it's easy as a coach to get into the lecture mode, right? So I make it a point. One of the things I always do, and I started carrying it over into my marriage, and it works beautiful. When I get done talking, I get done saying my 1 minute, 2 minutes of stuff. You know what I do? First thing I do to my guys, I say, hey man, what do you think? What do you think about what I just said? Hey, baby, I talked to my wife. I say something. Hey, but well, babe, it ain't just what I think. It's what you think. We're a team. What you think? It works beautifully. It works beautiful with my men, and it works beautiful with my wife. You know why? Because I'm not selfish. I'm not just sitting there trying to dominate the conversation or just talking about what I want, what I think. Because I'm not the smartest man in the room, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My men help me just as much as I help them. And that's where it should be. Conversations should be give and take. We're not instructors in front of a 200 room classroom like at IU University or something, University or something. You know, we're just two people trying to help each other. And when we lecture our wives, and that means that they're like in high school, they feel like they're in high school or like they're 8-year-old or something. And women, when they love you, they ain't gonna say nothing. But when they start getting fed up and start losing hope in the marriage, all of a sudden they start saying stuff. And it's your job as a man to catch it early. So another thing too, man, we got to start learning how to read our wives better. And not that's part one of it. Part two of it is when we read something that ain't right, that don't seem quite right. Number two is we take action and get it fixed now. So she don't hold on to that stuff. Because we all know how women are. They will hold on to something until the cows come home, until the stars turn purple, until the sky in outer space turns white. You'll be like, that happened 30 years ago. What are you talking about? Well, I know it happened. I don't care when it happened. You did it. And when a woman talks like that, you know what that means? That means that at the time, it wasn't solved in her mind. It never was solved. Whatever you did back then, the bad thing you did, the negative thing you did, it's okay. You did it. You said you were sorry. Yeah, but in her mind, it wasn't. It ain't over. It wasn't over. It didn't get fixed. And so that's why they carry stuff. That's why they carry stuff, man. They don't mean to. Your wife don't mean to, man. Just like you don't mean to treat her like I'm talking about today. I know you don't mean to treat your wife like that. Because most of us weren't even taught how to be a real man. Moreover, how to be a man and a husband in marriage, right? A lot of things I talk about, man, I learned and I went and researched the church and I learned a lot of things and I put it all together. And most of the men, that's one of the things that we don't really understand what God expects of us as a man. And that's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough, especially when you work out here at these companies and stuff, wanting to demean you and stuff and treat you like you some punk and stuff. I understand, man. I know how it is, but you know how you survive in that world? You get on your knees and you pray and you become a real, authentic, true man like Christ was. And then you'll see, man, things will be different. The outlook will be different. Okay. So what's up? We will be right back. And stay with me, and we got 4 to go, and we out of here. Boom! If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, gentlemen. Hey. We are back. So let's keep going. So again, the last four in the subject today is why would our wife shut down on us and stop communicating with us and not listening to us and not being respectful to us and disrespecting us? And that's what it's all about. That's what it all comes down to, man. You know, I didn't talk around it, but really this is about what? Respect. Our women don't respect us. They don't respect us. And this is why the first thing as a man you should be trying to do is, how can I be more virtuous? How can I be more holy? Because when you are an authentic man and you strive to be like our Lord, women just flock. They come right to you. They come to you. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. The Holy Spirit just comes out of you and that draws your wife back to you. But see, guys ain't got patience for that. They don't. And they can't understand why my wife disrespects me. Why don't my wife respect me? Why don't she talk to me right? Why don't she do what I say? Why don't she listen to me? Why? Here's why. Because women allow you to lead your family you don't take it. Just like I said earlier, women choose us, we don't choose them. Just think about it. When a wife is nagging you all the time, if she's having an affair, if she's at work and don't want to be around you, your house is hell. Your house is hell, man. Arguing and fighting with you and stuff. Your house is hell, right? And you must ask yourself as a man, how do I get my wife to submit? And I don't mean submit like a master. I mean submit like Christ was asking her to submit. Peace in our home. We love each other. We collaborate. We make decisions together, and we nurture each other and love each other and care for each other. We build this great marriage and this great family. That's what I mean. How do you do that? It's called grace. It's called grace. This is why if a husband is not praying, not going to mass, if you're a Protestant, you ain't going to church, you ain't in the scripture, you're not meditating, dude, there's no grace in your home. None. Just enough to allow you not to totally collapse. But guess what? It's only a matter of time before it does. Okay? I had another man. You know what he did? He couldn't shut his mouth. He couldn't shut his mouth. You know what he do? Every time his wife talked, he had to interrupt her. He couldn't stop. I say, man, stop interrupting your wife. That's disrespectful. She's not going to listen to you. She's not going to care what you're going to say. He wouldn't listen to me. You know why? Because that kind of attention and listening ability takes patience and time. But you know what? Over the next 2 or 3 months, he got it. And once he got it, it was easier. Just let her talk. Gentlemen, just let them talk. You don't have to input nothing. If she asks you, baby, what do you think? Then you say something. If you don't understand something she said, excuse me, baby, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but what did you say? I didn't understand. I missed something. And another thing, don't listen to fix. Listen to love her, man. Because that's all your wife really wants. To her, when you listen to her and you respect her opinion and you value her opinion, you love her. And she, in the eyes of God, man, she is your helpmate. She is your guide. She is. She's your confidant. And I've said this a lot of times. A man that does not listen to his wife and take her guidance into consideration, he's a fool. He's a fool. You know why? Because nobody on earth loves that man more than she does. Nobody. Not the kids, not his mom and daddy, not nobody but God. That's why you at least listen to her and take what she has to say to heart, and then you guys make a decision together. I ain't gonna lie. I listen to my wife all the time. Sometimes she ain't nice about it, you should do this. Boy, that's hard to put your pride aside. Didn't go, okay, baby, I'll do it. All right. So, number 5, I interrupt her when she speaks. This is a huge one and the most important, as it is the one that causes the most bickering, arguing, and frustrations in marriage. Okay. Don't matter what it is. Okay. The best way to stop this is humility. Why? Because humility defeats evil. Think about it, gentlemen. If you and your wife are arguing and fighting all the time, that red brick wall is in between you and forcing you guys apart. It's called Satan. But when you have humility and you go, you know what, baby, I probably should do that. You're right. What do you think, sweetheart? All of a sudden, her fire, her upsetness comes down, the wall turns blue instead of red. You draw her to you. She wants to be near you. Why? Because he listens to me. He values my opinion. Okay? You men ought to do anything I say. Anything I shouldn't say anything I suggest. You don't. You really don't. But over time, the pain will get worse. It always gets worse. The pain never gets better. That's why people want to leave. That's why they want a divorce. They think divorcing will stop the pain. No, it don't. It just makes it worse. It stops the immediate whatever, but over the long haul, man, it don't. Divorce don't do nothing but separate you and the kids, and separates everybody from God. Is that what you really want? So, humility is the best way when it comes to don't interrupt her when she's speaking. Okay, what she's saying is just as important as what we are saying. Right? Let your wife talk and get everything out. Then, when she is done, you empathetically say your piece. This makes her and you feel you've been heard. Nothing causes frustration more than someone interrupting a thought process out of anger or rudeness or selfishness. Basically, when we do this, the person isn't hearing us anyway because they're thinking about what they're going to say. When we say, when they were interrupted. So one of the tricks I do in my program, and this is me, is I don't want to talk over somebody. I don't want to interrupt them when they're talking. So what I do is I got a trick I developed a lot of years ago. I have a pen and paper, and when my men are talking, I'm not thinking about what I want to say. I'm listening to them. You know why? Because if an idea pops in my head, I'll write it down the pad. And I let them get it all out so that I get the full picture of what's going on. Because if I'm interrupting them about what I'm thinking, when he's talking, if I'm thinking about what I want to say, then that degrades what my ability to help them. I've had to go as far with men and say, listen, man, I want you to go to Walgreens or a CVS or the Office Depot and get you a little pad of paper with a pen. And when your wife is talking, you sit there and listen. If an idea pops in your head, you write it down. And then when she's done talking and she's done speaking, then you look at your pad and go, well, what about this, babe? What about that? That way, when your wife is talking, you're not sitting there thinking about what you want to say because she knows that's what you're doing. She gets upset about it. And then what happens is he don't love me. He don't want to be with me. Why does he treat me like this? See, y'all don't know. Y'all don't think they think like that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay. So please don't interrupt your wife when she's talking. Okay. Number 6, I insult her. Number 6, I insult my wife. Calling someone out of their name when debating or arguing is the first way to remove all credibility as to what you are trying to say. This makes things very emotional and personal, causing either party to want to call names back, right? This accomplishes nothing and causes much resentment. If a name is called, stop all conversation, apologize immediately, then this often diffuses much and calms things down. So what this does is a lot of us, especially these days, women have a tendency to confront us. They don't really realize that when they confront us, when you confront a man, you open up his nature to protect himself, to get wide shouldered and wide armed, like, oh, you a man now. And so this is why women shouldn't confront men, because it's a no-win situation, really. you know. And so one of the things you do is when you make a mistake and you call your wife a name, whether it be the C word, well, I'm just gonna say it, whether it be cunt or whether it be a bitch or whatever. First thing you do is you stop and you say, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And you really, really mean it. Because I'm gonna tell you, we all know, men know instinctively, and women, if you call a woman one of them two words, you got a lot of pain that you're gonna get for a lot of years. She gonna never let you forget that one. I got wives that come to me. He called me a bitch, and he called me a C word, and he called me all these names. I said, baby, how long ago was that? I don't know how long it was. It's a long time, 5 years or something. 5 years. Okay. Number 7, 2 more, gentlemen, we're done. Number 7, I make her feel threatened. Now, I know this one is used a lot, abused a lot. Oh, he pushed me. Oh, he threw me on the bed. Oh, he grabbed my arm. Oh, and then what do they do? Pick up the phone, call 911, and all that kind of crazy mess. And all you was trying to do is stop her from hitting you in the face. Stop her from spitting on you because she's all in your face and she's spitting on you and she's pushing you and calling you ain't a real man. You ain't nothing. You think you a real man and you don't make love like nothing. And all the time you sit there and get mad and mad, and then she tries to hit you and you take and block her arm and you push her on the bed. I had a guy, that's all he did. Well, that's all he told me he did. Take it with a grain of salt. But I believed him. I believed him. I really did. She went to the phone and called the police. He hit me. He hit me. And they came too. So I had to train guys on how to deal with that. And I'm not gonna give that secret away. But I got to train guys how to deal with that. When your wife says you hit them and you didn't, it's a real easy technique to do that. Okay. So, but the key is one of the keys is when you feel yourself getting mad or your wife is trying to hit you, what you just do is just leave the room. And if she's following you, I've had wives follow their husbands in the house, jump on their back and hit them in the back of the head because they're walking away, trying to calm down and get away from it. Now, ain't that something? So then what he has to do, I tell him, look, go get in the car and leave. I've had women, the husband get in the car and driving down the street, and she running down the street, man. Run down the street trying to catch him. I'm serious, dude. I'm not lying. I promise. But that's how you stay out of that's one of the ways you stay out of jail. When you get mad, you get in the car and you leave. If sometimes you gotta take the kids because your wife is really tripping. Sometimes you gotta put the kids in the car. Y'all gotta go leave for 15 minutes and have fire. Usually you come back and she's calm. Okay. The last one, number 8, is probably the biggest one out of all of them because it kind of puts everything together. And it's very important that you really try to hear this and understand this. So, number 8, the husband is just plain overall unapproachable. Now, look, for our wives to open up, we must be approachable and give off the feeling that we are willing to listen, be compassionate, empathize, and be supportive. Without these qualities, she will never ever trust you and begin speaking and unloading her feelings and concerns on whoever else is willing to listen and be approachable. Please ask yourself this question. Can my wife or children approach me without getting their head bitten off and getting paid attention to, and I give them all of my attention in that particular 10 seconds that they need? You really got to ask yourself that, man. Because what I learned is women will shut down and so will kids. But women, they will shut down and if you're not approachable. So what does approachable really mean? When my wife walks in the room, I don't still keep sitting at my desk and doing my work. I look up and I give her the attention she deserves. Okay. Then but let's just go to opposite. Let's say my wife walks in the room, I look at the computer screen and she's talking and I can see her, but I'm not looking at her. I'm saying listen, but I'm not really listening, or let's go a step further. My wife comes in the room and she goes, hey, I need some money to go to the grocery store. You need some money to go to the grocery store? What'd you do with the money I gave you last week? What's wrong with you? Can't you do nothing right? Can't you just do nothing? Or you could be less down phone. Like, look, I just gave you some money the other day. I mean, what are you here for and trying to get some more money for? What did you spend that money on? What did you spend it on? You see, man, a lot of guys are like I was just now. They're very calm. They're very they don't let their voice raise or nothing like that. But they're demeaning. They're not approached because And then the other edge was, you're loud and you kind of lose it a little bit. Not a lot, but you lose it a little bit. Well, what starts to happen is your wife and kids start to go, because believe it or not, your wife and kids are very intimidated by you because you're a man. You're a man. That's just the way it is. It's natural. Our job as a man in the house, yes, you must have respect, but I don't. You must do it in a way where your wife doesn't feel threatened. Okay, she doesn't feel that when they come talk to me, he's just gonna chew my head off. So I don't want to talk to him, or I can't tell him nothing. No matter what I tell him, he just doesn't pay. He don't listen. He don't pay attention. All that kind of stuff. Being approachable is so important in marriage, man. Because if you're not, what is your wife gonna do? She's just gonna go tell her divorced friends. She's gonna go tell her single friends. She's gonna go tell her so-called best friend. She's gonna go talk to her mother, her sisters, her co-workers at work. You don't want that. You can't survive that for long. You can't, because your wife is intimidated by you and she thinks she's gonna, someone they'll fight back. They'll fight with you and argue with you and stuff. But that's just pain you see. That's really not anger. It's really pain, you know. But gentlemen, I got to get out of here. But I hope today, that is what, that is kind of, that last one is very, very important. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to put it all together. Bam. Get live Catholic Marriage Help Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. All right, putting it all together. Christ is the art. Putting it all together, the bottom line. So Christ is the heart and communication is the blood. Christ is the heart and communication is the blood. These days, people in general are so touchy on everything. There is no control in our society, and people feel they can display and say anything they wish if they feel they should. And this is two-faced because these same people are the ones that get their feelings hurt and lose control, hold grudges, and shut down on us with the least of disagreements. Our wives are no different because they are completely bonded and connected with us through God, children, and the marital embrace. They are extremely sensitive to our moods and how we interact with them. Even something as small as tone of voice or not looking at her when she is speaking can cause pain and a feeling of disrespect and resentment. If we don't want our wives spilling our business out in the street with others, we must be her sounding board. We must be the one that she feels that she can lean on and be her rock. Or I promise in the end, she will find someone else to do that. And 99% of the time, that someone else is not the one who you want your beloved spilling her guts to. So what do you think? What do you think? So in conclusion, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort." What I'm going to do real quick is give y'all the 8 again, then go into conclusion. Okay, real quick. The 8 reasons that your wife may shut down on you, stop talking to you, not confiding you anymore. Number 1, I ignore what she is saying as hogwash or not important or has no validity. Number 2, I yell at her or raise my voice. Number 3, I belittle her. Number 4, I lecture her. Number 5, I interrupt her when she speaks. Number 6, I insult her. Number 7, I make her feel threatened. And number 8, the husband is just plain overall unapproachable. And so, again, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. So go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle.